Hello everyone, welcome back to Susie Saves. I'm Susie. First of all, I want to apologize. This video will be a little late. I think it'll come out on Saturday instead of Fridays. I apologize about that. I have been doing some side work and I wanted to make sure the day that money was going to come to me wasn't going to fall on this week's budget. It is not. It'll be next Wednesday, so it will just get added to next week's budget. But I'll talk about it a little bit when we talk about our earnings for this week, so let's jump into it. It is the last paycheck of January. I'm actually going to be calling this February's paycheck. Should I? No. Last year I did label the paychecks for the months that they pay for. So since this is, actually it was the 31st, I messed up, but it's fine. Since this was the last day in January, obviously it's not this paycheck, nothing on this paycheck is going to go towards January things. Everything is going towards February. So I would call this like the first paycheck for February. But I think this year I'm just going to do it by whatever the date is that the Friday I get paid lands on. And that is, I'll leave it. And that is in January still. So let's jump into it. Okay. So I had made a little noise last week that the income I received was more than I had expected. This is from my 9-to-5. I am a chemist. I am an organic carboxyl chemist. I work in the lab. And so I was worried that this was a fluke, that something wrong was happening. It is not. I got paid the exact same amount this week, which is $717. So I talked to some people and they think that what happened was at the end of the last year, they re-looked over everything and decided, oops, we're taking too much out of the paycheck. And so they pulled less out, which gave me more money. Which is fine by me. I'm excited because next week is a full week paycheck. So I'm excited to see how much more that will be than regular. This is just about $20 more, so I don't expect it to be astronomically more, but anything more is great. I have been very busy with a contract that I signed last weekend for my side hustle. If you don't know, I am a voice actress on the side. I also do some streaming and stuff, which sometimes brings in money, but the majority of my side hustle money comes from these contracts that I sign with companies for short-term voiceover work. This contract is probably the most lucrative one I've ever had, which is super exciting, because when a company comes to you with a contract, for me, it's per hour of recording. So not exactly the time I worked on the recording, but how long the final product is. And there's always worries there of like, oh, this is a large number, but is the work going to be there? Are you going to give me like 1 hour of recording and then I get paid for 1 hour of work for the whole week, right? So there's always a kind of balancing act there between how much you get paid and how much work you can get paid for. This job, which I think will last 2 to 3 weeks, I don't know yet. The first week is over, but the next week seems to be going strong. So it's a very short-term contract because they want quick turnaround, which is why it's higher paying. But I think it's going to be a lot of money. The invoices are due on Monday, so I haven't tallied up everything yet. And I want to keep it a little bit of a surprise. But next week with the 5-day paycheck I'll be getting, along with this side hustle money, which I think is going to be 2 to 3 times my paycheck, it's going to be insane what we can do with next week's money. That it's not taxed, so it's a 1099. I think technically it's a W-2. Anyway, it's contract work. So I will have to take quite a percentage of that out and put it away for taxes for next year. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting so ahead of myself. But I'm really excited for next week. But for now, it's this week. So let's make our budget. First off, we have non-variable expenses. For me, this is rent and internet. These are the only two, actually Apple is coming out this week. These are the only bills I have, period. Yes, I pay car insurance and I pay my phone bill, but I pay them once a year. I don't pay them monthly. So these are the only reoccurring expenses that are the same. This is a magic month, so this was a 5th paycheck when there's normally only 4. Because of that, I skipped paying rent in the middle of the month when I had a really low paycheck from the beginning of the year. We had snow, so I was only able to work 2 days that week. So instead, we're taking it out of this paycheck. So this is going to be $200, which is good because the first of the new year is as you're watching it today. So just in time for that. Internet gets $23 and Apple is $1 a month. I think that's for cloud storage. I don't actually remember what that Apple payment is for, but I do know that I needed it for work. It's a work expense, so we're not getting rid of it. Next is the variable expenses, which are gas for the car. My car is in the shop currently. We only have one, and I'm also the only one with a job, so I'm the only person that I budget gas for. Once my husband starts his job in March, I will budget for his gas too. Then we have groceries. It's only the 2 of us. I'm just trying to make sense of these numbers for you. It's only the 2 of us, so we give ourselves $60 a week. We cook at home all the time. My husband's a very good cook. And then we have a miscellaneous. I used to not have one, and I always overspent on my budget. So instead, I made a miscellaneous category because sometimes things just pop up. For instance, we were asked to go out somewhere. Turns out the place we went didn't have a parking lot. We had to do street parking, and so that costs money. And sometimes when you're out and about, you don't think to grab money out of your transportation fund or something like that. So it's always best just to have some miscellaneous, I think. However, I have been debating making this a little smaller and or opening up a date night dining out sinking fund. The other thing we now have here is the gym. I have a gym membership. Last year, I was just putting it on once a month and paying the whole thing, but this year I'm going to try to be a little bit more proactive, and so we're putting $5 towards that every week rather than paying it all at once. And then we're going to put $30 towards our wedding so that we can do some stuff this week, sending out invitations and things, so very exciting. So our total for our expenses this week is $399. For savings, I have a buffer in my checking account. Normally, it's if I have just a few dollar bills left over, I don't want it to be more than $5. So anything over $5, I'll put $5 into a category. If it's less than $5, it goes into the buffer. This is for just if I get withdrawal, like the Apple and the internet comes directly, it's a direct withdrawal from my checking account. And so just in case something crazy happens, because a few weeks ago my internet came out and it was only $4 more than I expected, but more than I expected. So this buffer will help cover if those things pop up like that. Besides that, we have my Roth IRA. It gets money every week if I can. I'm really, really trying to finish that out. And then we have, a savings account that I'm growing with the bonus that I received last year of 3%. That 3% from my paycheck goes into savings. The Roth IRA this week is getting $200. This is to make up for the lower weeks we had at the beginning of the month where we weren't able to put in as much as we should have. And then savings is actually going to get $50 this week because that hiked up. So I'm hyping that up a little bit. As for our sinking funds, we have car maintenance. I said this last week, I combined my husband and my car maintenance now that we are married. Car insurance, again, this is only for my car. My husband's car insurance is taken care of by his family. It's going to get $10. Car insurance gets 13. Phone bill, this is again only my phone bill. My husband's phone bill is still taken care of from his family. I would eventually like to have those transferred over to us, but the way it works in where we are at, the more people you have on the plan, the cheaper each of the lines are. So we would be paying more to remove that, and I don't really think it's worth it. We haven't had any problems with it so far, so still debating on that. Next we have for our gift funds. I'm gonna put $10 in. We did deplete this last week or 2 weeks ago for a friend's birthday dinner that we were last minute invited to, so we could not budget for it. Pets is getting $10. The cats have a vet visit coming up next month that we are still saving for. And then medicine is getting 10. I am out of protein powder. This medicine is more like health and beauty, so I'm out of protein powder, so I will use, oopsies, that's supposed to be a 10, some money out of this budget to pay for that. And that's it. I think that's it for our sinking funds. So we've got 10, 13, 13, 10, 10, and 10. $66 for our sinking funds. We have worked very hard. We have never had debt, and we will never have debt. Well, we'll have a home mortgage, but that's a little bit different in my opinion. So our total income for the week was $717. Our total expenses are $399. Our total sinking funds is $66, which leaves $252 in savings. This is a zero-based budget. 200 of that is going to this Roth IRA, 50 is going to the savings, and then we have a $2 buffer for those bills, like I said, if they come out of the checking account and just happen to be a little bit bigger than I'm expecting. And that's it. Thank you all so much for watching today. I super duper appreciate it. Again, I'm sorry this video is late. It's been crazy with all the extra work I've been doing every night. But I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. I will see you tomorrow on Sunday for the cash stuffing of this weekly budget. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe, and I'll see you over in that video, okay? Have a good night, everyone.